Thanks so much for the introduction. And I want to thank Output Belfast for giving me the opportunity to do this incredible interview. And it's incredible what Output are doing. So, and as well, Niamh, thank you so much for coming up to Belfast to do this conversation with me. I'm really excited.
No problem. I'm so happy to be here.
So just before we get into it, Niamh, I'd like to tell for those who are here and also at home, for those who don't know you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Niamh Regan and I am from Galway and I'm a singer-songwriter. And I guess that is probably the most exciting element about me. But yeah, there's not much to me actually. That's it. I released 2 records and yeah, that's kind of it. Singer-songwriter, folky stuff.
It's some amazing music. And I'd love to just talk to you about your early roots when you were really, really young. I know your mum played folk and traditional music. So in the house, what was it about music that resonated with you and how did you get involved playing music?
Yeah, so I grew up just around music, specifically trad. However, my dad had no musical talent whatsoever, but was really, really into music. So, like when he'd be coming home from work, he would be like writing down names of songs and recommendations on pieces of paper that he heard. And, there would have always been music on in the background with day-to-day tasks and living. So, and I guess from an early age, we all had party pieces and we all played sessions. And like my mum used to sing an awful lot of Sandy Denny and that kind of, I guess is that 60s, 70s folk kind of era. Um, so yeah, and then a heavy influence with kiltas, which was Kaylee bands and group kill and wearing waistcoats and with other 12-year-olds playing hopefully in sync and learning harmony together and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, really amazing beginnings. And I'd love to actually speak to you about when you were older and you received a BA in music at Limerick University. How did you find going from being a young musician to then studying music? What was that experience like for you?
Well, I went to a secondary school which was really, really like the emphasis was on sports and hurling specifically. And I'm not very good at that. Um, so I think I just like leaned in even harder to music because I knew that I was never going to excel in this bubble of a GA and started writing songs um, around maybe 14 or so after like a neighbor was teaching me guitar and it's like, look, you only have 3 chords, you might as well put some words on it. And that's kind of all I'm doing still, but really enjoying it. And then it just kind of felt like a natural thing to keep pursuing music that way, as in studying in UL. And I actually just studied flute for the first 3 years. And then like you'd have a second instrument and I was doing guitar, piano. And then kind of by the end of the final year, I think most tutors were like, maybe you really should just be doing singing. Like this is what you're into songwriting wise. And there was no way I was going to make a living playing the flute at the standard I was at. And yeah, so it just kind of fell naturally together. I was just really, really lucky to have that opportunity. And yeah, I think I look back on it now and it's like, how mad was that to get to spend 4 years just kind of doing music and being stressed about it? It was like a crazy, crazy good time. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really, really cool. And along that journey, I'd love to speak to you about Juhn Echo, which was a trio that you're involved with. Could you tell us how you guys first met and what inspired you to start a band?
That's so funny. You're the first person I think ever to say the name Juhn Echo correctly. Because we were very young when we started this band. It was my first band, and we met at Bloss Music School. It was like a summer school for trad in UL. It's really great. I would recommend it if you're anyway inclined to do a bit of trad. Just we all met because we got like the Paul Brady scholarship. So we're like kind of put into a room and just jammed a bit. And I was with Hajime Takahashi, who is from outside Tokyo, great guitar player, great banjo player, Ulton O'Brien, great fiddle and viola player, and then Jack Kerwin. And basically where the great name came from was Jack, Ulton, Hajime, Niamh, Juhn Echo, but we were like 17. And yeah, we basically, they were just like, I'd write a song and they'd tack on a reel at the end of it. That was the vibe of the thing. I think a lot of us were listening to a lot of Blanksty at the time. But yeah, it was like, I remember my dad driving me to rehearsals and stuff in Ennis and UL when I was still in Leaving Cert, being like, what am I doing? Like, driving my daughter to band rehearsals so far out. But yeah, it was great. And we released an EP and we learned so much together. And I think we all still do music and different capacities still. And yeah,
And actually, speaking about
very
that,
long answer.
no, it's a cool answer and it gives a lot of insight into that early career, prefacing Hemet. And I think just for everyone in the audience, Alton went on to create this amazing album with Niamh Records, which is Dancing the Line. And if you just have some spare moments in the day, check out Dancing the Line. It's a great record. And then your solo career started off, I believe it was in 2015 on SoundCloud, originally just putting up some songs. Why did you decide to go solo? Was it from those original comments in college just to start singing and start making your own music?
Well, I was always making my own music, but I never thought like I was going to make a living off it or pursue it afterwards. You know, I thought I was going to be a music teacher or do some trad gigs. And like with Juhn Echo, it was like, here are songs I've written and I've teamed up with other musicians and we're just having fun, you know. And then I was doing an Erasmus in Newcastle, very exotic. I don't know if it was because my grades reflected my choices or not. Other my friends were in like Sweden and Brazil and everywhere else. I was in Newcastle. And it was fantastic. And I was working with Ian Stevenson, who's a great guitar player in Cannes. Have you ever heard of them? Great trad band.
Prague, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't listened to them much now.
He's a great guitarist. And I wrote a song in Dadgad. It was the first one. Felt very adventurous. Thought I was a legend on guitar. And he's like, oh, just like release it. Like, just don't sit on it. Just put it out and see. And I got a little bit of like radio play, and that was just from putting it up on SoundCloud. And yeah, things just kind of started. I just never stopped doing little bits, bit by bit by bit. You know, there was never a big plan at any point. Does that make sense?
No, that definitely makes sense. And I think it's really, really cool just how the beginning all really just went downhill from there. And especially with Hemet, because I was reading about Hemet and I discovered that it was recorded during the lockdown. So how did you go about recording that record? Because I'm really curious.
It's a good question because it didn't. It came out during the lockdown.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not you because it's in like multiple things where they're like, she released it during COVID. And like she did this album in a week during when, so you're so right, don't worry. It was actually pieced together the year 2019, 2018, like different. It wasn't like, oh, here is 2 weeks recording. It was like a few days in house here, a few days in the house here, then like a week with the band in the Blackgate Studios, which is now no more, but they're on the rise again. It's a really great venue down in Galway, promoters. So yeah, it was released in 2020 during lockdown, you know, where it's like, oh God, like, but it was the best time ever for me. I think I was the only one who enjoyed lockdown because people were like, oh, poor Irish artists, we've got to support them. So they took a punt on me and listened to the record, and it just kind of word of mouth kind of. That's literally, I think, the only reason why I'm here today.
So we can now officially take Hemet off the pandemic albums list.
Yeah, it was just released during it, but I didn't break any rules.
That's really, really cool though. And then as well as releasing Hemet, I believe you played Freeze Frame on The Late Late Show.
I did.
How did you find that performance? How did you find going on RTE and singing live?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, nerve-wracking in the sense of like I did not know what to wear. That was my biggest concern after that. And then when I got there, I don't know if you ever look it up, that it was like a COVID episode or something. I'm not like a huge watch. I don't watch the Late Late that much. I'd often see the clips afterwards of the music, you know. But they had like pictures of like people who were affected by COVID, and it was very like I did not know any of that was happening while they were recording. Like if you go check it out, you'll see what I mean. Basically, I got flooded with messages saying they were so sorry that like you lost so many people during COVID. I'm not making light of this at all, like, but I had like, what's going on? Then I watched it back and it was like homage to people. And it is a sad song. Like it's suited and I was so honored that they would use it. But it was a trippy experience for my first television thing to be like, people thought that was like all my family. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Also during a global pandemic, like that kind of contributes.
It was a bit odd, but you know, I was just so happy to get going and doing things like that. I never genuinely thought that I would. I knew I'd always be gigging or being involved or behind the scenes or writing or playing trad sessions, but I never thought I'd play my own music on TV. So that was a weird moment for me for multiple reasons.
Yeah, and we're also going to discuss the Tommy Tiernan performance. That was quite recent enough after we discuss the second album, which was Come As You Are, which is such a beautiful album. And for both here and watching online, shout out to Gary Keogh at Roller Coaster Records in Kilkenny. He gave me a copy of your album, and and it was actually signed as well. But yeah, it's such a
He didn't
beautiful.
want it, did he not? I signed it for him.
No. I don't think it was that. I think it was more
I forgive you, Gary.
He wanted to share the musical talent. But yeah, I really enjoyed that record. And I'd like to ask now, knowing that knowledge about Hemet and writing those wrongs, how did you find going from 2018 to 2019 with this whole pandemic, these new writing sessions? How did you find getting back into the studio to return for your second studio album?
It was bleak. I honestly found it so hard. Like it's such a privilege to get the opportunity to record a second album, you know, and like I was so chuffed that I was like, oh, I've worked enough now. I can do this myself. I can like fund this and I have time to write it, and it was all very exciting. But the songs weren't coming. And I think I felt so much pressure simply because it was suddenly people were actually, basically, if people are paying money to see you, you have to like up your game all the time. And I was kind of crippled with nerves because of that. I was like, I don't know how to write a song anymore. So it took me like, Jesus, like 3 years to get those songs together. And I wrote about 200 terrible songs. Like you'd hate to see my voice notes, you know, on your phone.
Oh, me too. Oh,
Like
my
it's
voice notes are
mad.
horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So there's like a vault of like meltdowns being like a year of meltdowns
Transcribed into music.
with like usually in the key of G. Didn't work. But it was I'm really glad I'm past that now. It was worth the struggle and I really enjoy performing the second record and I like the songs and I feel like it's kind of like it was a stepping stone to finding the next place to go, and that's all music is anyway, isn't it? It's just the best thing is the next thing. So
Yeah.
looking forward to like at the moment I'm just like airing some new songs here and there from the third record to test the waters and like going in and out of the studios, and it's a lot of fun this time. I don't really care anymore about like the bad reviews or good reviews, or it's like I'm just happy to be doing it now. It feels good.
Yeah, and even where that statement that you just made about the pressure, I think when you listen to that, just the answer to that question, which was so beautiful, and then apply it to record off Come As You Are, it just makes it so much more impactful. And I think it's a really brilliant album, and the recognition that you got where you were saying about the pressure, you really did deliver on that album, just like you did with Hemet. That was nominated for Album of the Year, both of those albums for the RT Choice Music Prize. How, in reflection, did you find reacting to both times, getting that nomination? It must have been incredible.
But well, any acknowledgement is nice. Like we like to hear good jobs, you know. So I feel like it's an odd experience, you know, being up against because there's so many levels who are in those categories and stuff. So I was just basically like I'm happy to be here, but I had no expectation at any point. So it's all just really good experience. And I also learned that it's important to just be super proud of the work no matter what. And like I got super hung up about being perceived as like I wanted to get 5 stars. I wanted all these kind of, and that was driving a lot of where I wanted to go. And now I don't have that anymore. Now I can get up after a day if I got 3.5 stars and still be like, oh, I liked it. And keep going.
They are brilliant records, and I think it's going to be great to see the third record when it comes, obviously.
No pressure.
But no pressure at all. But yeah, I definitely see what you mean. And then comes you are obviously, we mentioned there, great recognition. But I'd love to talk to you about your performance on the Tommy Tiernan show, which was a tribute to Owen French. Or is it Talos? Is that how you pronounce it?
Talos. Yeah.
Talos.
Yeah.
A tribute to Talos with Sounds from a Safe Harbour on the Tommy Tiernan show. Could you tell us about that experience and how you got involved playing on the Tommy Tiernan show for that song?
Yeah, so I knew Owen from just on the music scene, but I didn't really know him that well until Sounds from a Safe Harbour 4 years ago. And Mary Hickson is one of the people who curates it and makes this incredible festival happen down in Cork City. And basically it's a week residency. You're just in a hotel, a nice hotel, in the business suite writing music. There's like pianos in it's really fun. Like it's band camp for adults, and everyone just is on a buzz. It's like so much fun. But I was paired with Owen and Oliver Arnolds for the week, and we were playing with Eve Vagabonds for the finale of the week. They do a kind of like closing show in the Opera House. So they wanted a song for that. So we kind of had a task to do that. And it was really fun just writing all week with them. And so we wrote it and performed it, and it was lots of fun. And it was a song that was kind of this idea of like, there's pressure, no one's ready for it, but like just do it anyway was kind of the sentiment behind the week. And like just embracing that energy. And then Owen fell sick and very unwell, and we got like a call from Oliver, who was working with Owen since then to produce a beautiful record. And he was saying, Owen is quite unwell, he's in hospice, and we were all in different parts of the world, and we all just like clamored together, got mics, whatever way we could record to do the song so he could hear it and put it on the record, which was a really intense experience, but really beautiful. And like Owen got to kind of hear it before he passed away, and it's now on the record, which is, it's a huge honor to be a part of that. And it was a very intense, an intense thing. And then on Tommy Tiernan, it was a tribute that a lot of the artists who were at the festival, Sounds from Safe Harbour, as well as his wife and some close friends, we got together and tried to figure out how to do that song without Owen. And we were just lucky. The Tommy Tiernan people were incredible at like facilitating that, because it's an extreme honor to pay tribute to any friend that passes. And Talos there's such a great catalogue of music there to tap into. I'd recommend it. It's very good. And so that's a very long-winded answer for you. How that came about and why it came about. So
well, it's very insightful. So I want to thank you for all that information. Like it's really, really cool. And so we were mentioning the third record is on the way in the future. So we don't have much more to speak about it, apart from where for you guys, you don't know, but Niamh and I were actually speaking before this interview, and we had a great conversation. And we were discussing music, and even we were saying I'm currently getting into a bit of Bon Iver, and Niamh's also a fan of Bon Iver. So we both have similar veins of music fandom. So I wanted to ask you, do you have any music recommendations for anybody who's watching at home on the recording, or anybody who's here in the audience?
God, that is a good question. On the way up, I was listening to God Save the Animals by Alex G. Do you know that album?
No.
I think it came out in well, not old, it's like 2023 or something, maybe 24. It's not a new one of his. I recommend New Dad's new album simply because they're from Galway and that just came out and that's very exciting. Who else? Sheenie Mackers. I should have definitely known you were going to ask me a question like this.
I'm sorry. I
All the
didn't give you a
preparation
heads
you
up.
did.
I didn't give you a heads up.
You know when somebody asks you that question, I can't think of anything. Like as in, I've also been listening to an awful lot of Hank Williams recently. The reason why, and I think you might like this actually. Do you know Ken Burns documentaries? Have you ever heard? It's like an American dude,
No.
and it's on country music. It's heavy, like it's an hour and a half each episode.
Oh,
I think it's like it's so like insightful and like it covers a lot of ground. And you might be into country music, or if you aren't, it's still a really interesting overall look on music and that time, especially in America. So I was watching that and then got into Hank Williams. So I might be yodeling the next time you see me, who knows? Like constantly flirting with the idea of becoming a country person, but
That would be-
country singer.
that would be really interesting to see.
I
Like,
won't. Promise I won't.
no, genuinely, as a fan of your music, I think that would be great. Like
I don't
Niamh's
think-
country record.
I don't think as a friend that's a nice thing to say to
I'm
me.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. The interview's gone so great.
The yodeling.
But that was my last question, Niamh.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me.
So those were my questions. I want to thank you so much for joining me here. Make sure to check out Niamh's music, guys, if you're not as well versed with it. And if you have some spare time, also please check out me at Logan Sounds Off. I'm releasing reviews, 60-second reviews, interviews. I've done tons of interviews, and I've got some great content coming down the line. So just my quick little plug, please check it out. So thank you so much, guys, for coming through and seeing the interview. I really appreciate it. And thanks again, Niamh, for joining me here.
Thank you, Logan. Excellent. Should we shake hands?